Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
And the budget will balance itself.
Do I have to sue CNN?
Legacy doesn't mean nothing. I'm gonna die and it's gonna be over.
Welcome, it's Argedius. Man oh man, almost every time I read or see anything about Europe, it has to do with Afghan migrants viciously attacking locals or underage girls. These fucking people are like animals. If it walks, they'll rape it. If it's vulnerable, they'll rape it. And when they can't fuck it, they'll stab it. Afghans are like rabid dogs or like zombies. No soul, just hunger all of the time. Of course, the floodgates were first opened by that bitch, Chancellor Merkel, in Germany in 2015. And Europe has been paying the price ever since that bitch opened the gates. Let's delve into the pattern of the Afghan, shall we? First up, in the UK just recently, 2 men have appeared in court charged in connection with the rape of a 12-year-old girl in Nuneaton. Hamad Mulakil faces 2 rape charges, while Mohammed Kabir is accused of kidnap, strangulation, and aiding and abetting the rape of a girl aged under 13. Warwickshire County Councillor leader George Finch has alleged the 2 men were asylum seekers and accused Warwickshire Police and the Home Office of covering up their immigration status. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true and the police were trying to cover it up. I mean, it seems to me at least half of the UK police force have become traitors and converted to Islam. Of course, the local public has been absolutely outraged over what these ungrateful devil worshippers have done. You notice that with these Afghan devil worshippers, raping the victim isn't enough. They like to strangle to death afterwards. Here it seems they failed, and hopefully the girl recovers. As shown here in the video, the 2 migrants are staying at a migrant hotel near Epping, and the migrants there now require a police escort for their safety. Next up here, we have the face of a 29-year-old piece of shit, Sadak Nikzad of Afghanistan. He raped a 15-year-old girl after following her on a street in Stirlingshire, and he's been jailed for 9 years. He targeted the girl in Falkirk town centre in October 2023. Nikzad, an asylum seeker from Afghanistan, reportedly requested her telephone number, uttered sexual remarks, then led her into a courtyard where he raped her. At the High Court in Livingston, Judge Morris told him it was an extremely serious sexual offence and he would be deported after his sentence. Finally, some justice. Next, going back to September 2017 in Germany, an asylum seeker who says he is Afghani is being tried in Germany in a rape and murder case that has fueled nationwide debate about the country's immigration policy. Hossein K., who is suspected of raping and murdering a female medical student last year, went on trial in the southwestern city of Freiburg on September 5. The victim, identified as 19-year-old Maria L., disappeared in October 2016 on her way home in Freiburg, and her body was later found in the Dresam River. Authorities say the suspect, who was arrested in December 2016, was linked to the crime through DNA evidence and video footage from near the scene. His exact identity and age is unclear. Hossein K. arrived in Germany in 2015 without ID papers and applied for asylum as an unaccompanied minor. He told authorities he was 17 and came from Afghanistan, but studies commissioned by prosecutors indicated that he was at least 22 at the time. Even other males aren't safe from these homosexual Afghan demons. Check this story out. The trial of an Afghan accused of raping an 18-year-old Polish man at a metro station began in Munich on Friday amid heightened debate over Germany's immigration policy. After the incident was reported last August, the Polish Prime Minister at the time, Morawiecki, claimed the crime was the result of lax approach to border controls by Germany. A young Pole was raped in Munich by a migrant from Afghanistan. These are the consequences of open borders policies, Morawiecki posted on X on August 23 last year. The accused has been named only as Wahidullah H. The scene was at a subway station and cameras recorded what happened. The 18-year-old Polish man who was visiting Germany had been returning home from a late-night party, and he was very drunk at the time. He fell asleep on the platform where Wahidullah H. allegedly spotted him and took advantage of the young man's inability to resist, and performed sexual acts on him. The perpetrator subsequently ran away with the teenager's mobile phone. For over half an hour, Wahidullah H. is said to have groped the victim and raped him several times, German media outlet Zeitung reported. The young Pole managed to return home on his own and the next day reported the incident to the police. Officers managed to locate his stolen phone, which led them to the home of the accused. The victim's lawyer, Christos Perperidis, said the Pole is still suffering from the crime, undergoing psychological treatment, and unable to forget what happened. He will not have to appear in court in person, and his testimony will be recorded on video. And like I said, when they're not fucking, they're stabbing. Here's a knife attack that occurred by a migrant at a park in Germany. In January this year, the arrest of an Afghan asylum seeker suspected of killing 2 people in a knife attack targeting children in a German park has prompted calls for a much tougher migration stance and fired up a campaigning for Germany's February 23 national election. The suspect, a 28-year-old Afghan national with a history of violent behavior who had been undergoing psychiatric treatment, was due to appear before a judge on Thursday afternoon. The judge will decide on his pre-trial detention. The suspect had his asylum process closed and said he would voluntarily leave Germany in December, but had not left and remained under treatment, Bavaria's interior minister said. A 2-year-old boy of Moroccan descent and a 41-year-old man who tried to intervene in the attack, which occurred in a park in the Bavarian city of Aschaffenburg on Wednesday, died of their injuries. 3 other people were injured. Chancellor Olaf Scholz, whose Social Democrats are trailing, convened an emergency meeting with his interior minister and security authorities late on Wednesday, branding the attack an unbelievable act of terror. I am sick and tired of such acts of violence occurring here every few weeks by perpetrators who have actually come to us to find protection here, Scholz said in a statement. A false sense of tolerance is completely inappropriate. The authorities must work flat out to find out why the attacker was still in Germany in the first place. Consequences must follow immediately from the findings. It is not enough to talk. Finally, a German leader who's making some sense at least. If there's one country that has had more than enough of these Afghan bastards, it's the country that started it all, Germany. With a new government, they have made tremendous progress and recently deported 81 of these devil worshippers on top of earlier deportations back to Afghanistan.
Well, Germany says it has deported dozens of Afghans convicted of crimes to their home country, the first time under Chancellor Friedrich Merz's new government. The deportations came as Germany hosted a summit with EU partners focusing on migration. Germany's Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt said that Germany wanted to take a leading role in the EU's migration policy.
Leipzig-Halle Airport on Friday morning. The identities of the people in this image have been blurred, but the German Interior Ministry confirmed 81 Afghan nationals were on board the plane after failed asylum claims and criminal convictions. It was the first such flight conducted since Germany's government took office.
Even their fellow Muslims don't want anything to do with these fucking Afghan animals. Iran has been kicking hundreds of thousands of them out.
More than 250,000 Afghans left Iran in June. The 12-day conflict between Israel and Iran intensifying existing anti-foreigner sentiment in the country. Iran's government justified its actions, saying, "We've always strived to be good hosts, but national security is a priority, and naturally, illegal nationals must return."
This is exactly why citizens of all nations need to make immigration their #1 issue and be very suspicious of the intentions of their leaders. Are Afghans the worst migrants in the world? Definitely yes. Is there even a close second? Come to think of it,